we're inside. Right, go back to farm tours. I think we go right back. I first got involved in farm tours in 1975 when I just come home from college, and my dad told me, right, there's 120 vet students from Glasgow coming, you've got the farm tour to do. And we've been doing that one for years. So that was my first involvement in doing farm tours. That was a good one. You dropped them off in Glenfruin, walked them literally over the top of the hill and back down to the farm over about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour stretch, telling them all about sheep farming, because that's the first sheep they'd seen after a year of vet school. So we did that every year up until 2 or 3 years ago. Done a lot of tours with RET from primary 1 to 5th and 6th year geography higher students. So they do these sort of tours. And we've done a lot of tours for the SAC for bringing farmers from different countries or scientists. We've done plenty of MPs tours and things like that as well. So food bloggers, we've done a lot. So we're used to handling people and reckon I could handle a tour and pitch it at any level depending on what came at us. So that was really the experience of the farm tours before this year we started actually to try and make some money out of it. We've not actually marketed any of them as such. We've done tours, we've done 3 tours for Abbey, and they approached us looking for a farm to do a tour on with an hour and a half time limit. All French farmers are retired farmers and their wives. Each tour's been different because the weather's been different when they've been there, and what I tend to do is do a sort of half hour, 15-minute to half an hour talk, depending on how good the translator is, on introduction to the farm. I'm lucky enough I've got a whole lot of A3 slides that come from a PowerPoint presentation that I've used when I've talked at the college open days and things like that. So I've got all the facts and figures about the farm in paper, and that helps a lot when you're in a foreign language. I'm still thinking of just get a projector and put it onto a PowerPoint, and that means it's easier updated, and we'll get some photos of the farm and the hill, because when they come in a bus they're seeing the farmsteading and 100 yards, 200 yards round about it, because that's as far as they can walk with fancy shoes or slippy ground or wet ground. They're not really seeing the rest of the farm. So I will maybe some photos up the wall that show that what the real farm is like, 4 miles, 5 miles up the glen. So that's in the future. And we've got another tour lined up for fortnight's time that just came in yesterday, the day before, for Swedish farmers, another company this time, so we'll see how that goes. They're keen to do more, so we'll wait and see how we go on with the first one, whether they'll follow it up in the future, but they're desperately looking for farmers to take tours.
I think for us it worked really well with just like the time of year when they came, because we've got animals in the fields, we've got a 4,000 acre farm and the majority of the animals live away out the road, and because they come in the big bus we can't get them up there. So I think for us future-proofing, that might be something, if we're going to get more and more regular tours, that we might have to look into maybe investing into a larger trailer. We can split the group and then we could take a route up the glen and back, because for those who came to our first meeting, we did get to go to the reservoir. It's one of the biggest selling points, is you get to experience the farm, you also get to see the landscape, and that's Scotland. So
I wonder how we can farm in that conditions, the general conditions.
Yes, it's quite surprising when you get out there.
Can you tell us what you do with them in an hour and a half?
Right, the normal procedure is get them off the bus, usually take them into the garden in front of Shemore House, which most of you that have been there have seen it. The view's fantastic. So you've got them sold as soon as they're off the bus. And at that point, do a chat about the farm, introduce the farm, and introduce who's on the farm, what we do. Depending on the audience, how much information I give, how technical I go, and that varies. And the time you get the first 2 or 3 questions, you can usually suss out the audience and change your talk to suit. Well, that's the way I do it anyway. So that takes probably 20 minutes. By the time 5-10 minutes, we get off the bus into the garden, we all take their photos and go, ooh, we're great. Depends on the translator. The thing, if you have got a translator there, a trick is watch the faces of the proper farmers, because when they translate something wrong, and most of the translators are not necessarily agricultural and they don't know the technicalities, they can make some quite nasty bloopers and what they're actually translating. But if you see the farmers going, that doesn't sound right, you change it around and you try and say it in another way, or you work out.
You ask them to translate, what did they just write? Okay, well, this is actually what we meant, and then she reworded it at Hamilton's.
You'll usually find.
Then there was a lot of laughter.
Yeah.
And
there's usually farmers there or farmers' wives there that actually can speak English well, and they know the technical term, and you get round it, but it's good fun. So that's the general route. We're normally through the lambing sheds are next door, so if there's sheep in there, we'll have a look in that. We'll have a look in the sheds anyway, so this is where we do the lambing. Usually we'll walk through the sheep yards to show the way the sheep come through the yards, the handling set up, and the way we handle the sheep, a bit about what we do when we're in the handling yards, why we need them and that sort of thing. If it's dry, we'll walk out into the fields, depending how fit they are, whether we go up the hill to the high fields and get the best view out over the loch and up the farm, or we go a shorter route and they don't see the loch, but they get a bit of a view up the hills, at least see there's hills behind if the mist's not down. And that's a problem. If the mist's down to 600 feet and our farm goes up to 2,250, they're only seeing a tiny wee bit, and that's why I want to get some slides up that we can show them what the rest of the farm really is like. It's not just a green field to see around the house. And that generally takes about an hour and a half.
We were lucky this time, we had sheep in the field and we had about 400 odd sheep, so we just said, well, we'll just bring the dog out. So I went out with the quad bike, the dog, and just marched the sheep through one field into the other, and they all just stood and thought that was marvellous and took pictures of the dog holding the view of things. So again, and we did that every time they came out. We then just had to work out where the sheep were and where we can move them. So I think us I just went actually and spoke to the lady from Agritourism just to say I'd quite like to get some feedback from the tours. So it was all great feedback and gave me a bottle of champagne, a thank you, but again I want some realistic feedback. So what we did really well, let's focus and do more of that, or what did we do that could be better? Because the last tour I did on my own, they came with white trainers and white jumpers and things. They were not geared up for their shoes, were not for coming on the grass. So I said, right, we'll move down to the other field, and they wouldn't come into the field to watch the sheepdog trap because they'd get mucky. So they didn't actually see any of the manoeuvring of the sheep, so I feel that that'll probably be a down. So I think it's more about...
So how could that be improved then?
Well, improved it if we know they want to see that. I said, well, maybe we'll have maybe a small pocket of animals that will just kind of keep about. We move around fields and we'll locate them the day before in the field where we need them to be, and work on it that way, because it's something we want to see. But half our animals usually live up the hills, so we need to work out if that's something that they really want. We'll make sure we can provide that.
It's really hard because when you get farmers, and then they're there, we always say, please wear suitable footwear.
So this is,
and they don't, because they're on holiday.
They're on holiday, they're not carrying.
They're in a 2 week, and they're part of 2 weeks, and they spend like a day.
I think it's
also something about those open shoes, and I know when we do our salmonella testing, I get actually like welly.
The welly plastic things.
Plastic things, and I just made a note to think that would actually be easier.
They're fine, they're just not safe if somebody steps on them because there's no grip. So it's trying to weigh it up, but it's about just saying what is it you guys need or want, because if they want to just walk up, well, that's fine, but we need to cater it around that. There needs to be an expectation on both sides, because I think she was shocked to hear that they turned up white trainers, and I'm like, well.
White trainer tour.
I did send a note to Agritourism, the directions to the farm and a bit about the farm for them to do, but that never got passed out the office to the actual tour guides. And we'll add to it and be sure that sensible to wear sensible shoes. You can't expect them to bring wellies or anything like that. No.
So she's actually asked me, could you just email that through? Because that would be really interesting for her to feed back to her team to improve it for everyone. So that's great.
And so do you not get feedback as a matter of routine when the tour's there?
You get a feedback, you get feedback from the guide and the tour guide there, and you feedback off the boat. You know how it's gone. The first 2 tours that we had from the French tour guide that organised it from France, and it was their tour that Abby were organising. She was there for both the tours, and she's over the moon with the tours. She had quite a big chat with her at the end of the second one, and she's over the moon with the tours that we were doing in that case. So I hope that feeds back through. But we've had no direct feedback from Abby. We haven't asked for it, but that's something that would be useful.
Can you maybe talk, because Keith's here, because he's quite interested in listening to what you've done on the lambing side, the lambing live.
Yeah, so we were just going to come on to that. Are you finished with that?
The history between the lambing we've done for the last 5 or 6 years, we held an open day. If you saw This Farming Life, you'll have seen it because it was filmed in that, for the local sailing club. It was to raise money for the kids learning to sail, teaching them. So we've done that as a charity thing for 4 or 5 years. Partly, I'd always in the back of my mind would start opening up to the public for lambing, and of testing the water out, and then it was so popular that it's kind of kept on just doing it for charities for them. And then this year we said we're going to bite the bullet and go full time in the lecture.
It became slightly unmanageable after This Farming Life, and those two became slightly famous. People then were like, oh, you've got a farming home day, magic, let's just arrive. So we had 150 people in the space of 3 hours with 52 cars to park. We had people out doing car parking, we had queues in the road, so it was more of a safety and management point of view. If we're going to do this, let's do this over a spread out time, and we actually can put some money back into the farm because we need it. Do you know? So that was where we then took this. So we've been talking for a few years, we've just usually left it last minute, so this year we had a bit more time to plan it.
Last minute, beginning of April, we start landing on the 17th.
So it was pretty last minute. I thought, right, well, we'll just do an event, right? You start the event, right? And I just made up a Facebook page. We called ourselves Lambing on Loch Lomond, nice and relatively catchy. And a few of our friends kind of shared it about. And as soon as the event went out, a few went away. A few were booking tickets. So we offered 4 options rather than just offering at the weekend. We thought we'll do an after school club. So that was from, I think it was 4:30 to 6:30, that was 2 hours. We did a full day, which was £95 for full day. Arrived at 10 o'clock till 4 o'clock-ish, and we got to feed the sheep. They came onto the farm and did absolutely everything we did to a safe degree. But they were in fully waterproof, kitted out, and they were there involved, and we explained what we're doing, and they start with the feeding, and we could talk about the animal husbandry right back into tupping time and just bring it forward for them, just cater it to the group.
Most got a chance to pull a lamb.
Yeah,
didn't need to, but they gave them a chance to.
Because it was the full day training course, it isn't just a sightseeing, it was come and get involved, get your hands dirty. And be like,
you sold it as work with the farmer?
Yeah, for the farmer basically. So they were we thought we'd book them up over the weekend, so our expectations was like, great, we'll get after school every night, and we'll get both weekend days, we'll get hunters of folk on the full day courses, and maybe we'll throw a half day in there. But not a lot of folk went for the full day because it's £95, nobody knows what they're going to get. So we had a few bookings for the after school club, which was really good, and then we realised that the weekends weren't selling for the full days, so we cut the full days apart from one day, and then we opened them up to half days, and then we did weekend slots as well, and that's what went. So the weekend slots were just an hour and a half long, and we had 20 people coming, it was family. So you had about 5 carloads came, and it was £10 for that trip, but that was great because it was just like a total family immersion, really good fun. We had a few pet lambs. They kind of came in and we explained the maternity suite and the labour ward, and we explained what we're doing. They got to go out, see the field where they go, so they get to see us looking after the animals. We tube fed our lambs, so we explained why we tube feed our lambs, doing with adoption and what we do. So it was just a really nice time, and it was because it was a small number, we got that opportunity to talk to people and spend time. We weren't trying to make a money-making exercise to get 50 folk through your farm in 2 hours flat and kick them out again. It was about, and if there was one lamb, we just said, right, if it was the last group, we said, right, you can just wait on and watch this. Do you know, they've got an extra 20 minutes to see this happen, but you can't always do that because you've got a next group coming in. But we made sure we gave ourselves a half an hour window between they left, we should all kind of be gone, and the next lot should arrive, and then, so that kind of thing.
So does that work out for timing for people arriving?
Was it half an hour, wasn't it, between them?
I tend to find folk on our tours sometimes arrive an hour early.
Yes.
They will arrive an hour early.
Yes.
Most of them will be
so
there.
in a few hours, we just going to say hi, thanks so much for coming. I said, but we'll come and get you when it's time. If you just mind waiting here. And we had just the agricultural gates up across, so they couldn't come near the dogs, animals, or anyway. They had to kind of stay within the car area.
Basically, where the car parking was,
there was a sign up to say.
Someone will come and meet you. Now, so, generally we're looking out, and somebody would have a chat and say, look, the next year's gone, just hang around for a bit.
It was folk were quite happy about taking pictures and looking at the water and the burn and the
so we kept each group's sort of separate.
Yeah, and then generally we never really had an overlap really, and it was quite a nice time. Folk did just once they got their wellies off and they went wash themselves.
And that was our maximum number of 20, right?
We chose 20. I know other people do different. We look at the maximum. It was more about the enjoyment for the people and us as well, because we still have to run the farm. We were doing this between us, so we've still got animals lambing. We're still having to manage stuff.
We could have sold 40 quite easily.
Yeah, easily, because folk were begging us to.
We restricted it to that. number. 'Cause I think they get a better experience. They all get a chance to hold lambs and see things doing. And 20 folk round a pen will see a lamb getting born easily. If there's 40 folk round a pen, the ones at the back aren't going to.
And also, kind of, you've got hundreds of faces looking at it, they just bung up, they don't do anything. Do you know, we've had that when we had 150 people and the sheep just went, not producing a lamb. Are you kidding?
The first year we did the big open one, the first folk arrived at 3 o'clock and they saw lamb being born. The next lamb wasn't born at 10 o'clock at night, and it was just the folk that were in the beer tent that saw that one. The next year we had 50 born in the time when the folk were there between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. You just can't tell.
So in all of the tours that we did, the weekend ones booked out after we changed because we just cancelled my event, right, reset up new ones, and they all booked out. I think the biggest one was a jump. Somebody had seen it was what's on for kids in Glasgow, and somebody shared it. That people had seen it, then they shared it, and it just went viral. It was just meant it was good sales. Everyone was like booking. So I was like, right, I'm going to contact them. So I got in contact and said, listen, this is actually the information. Could you please put that on? So then they shared it. And then we added extra dates and times, and then that went. So because of that,
this demonstrates a strong domestic demand.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like hearing this morning about an 18-month or a 2-year lead-in for the travel trade for international, but there's a strong domestic demand as well. Yeah. I think particularly for lambing, I would say
obviously
anything.
It caters for everyone. So the all day, the weekend that had just been, a lady contacted me to say, oh, I've totally missed it, but it's like in my dream, it's my bucket list. She's not well, but it's my bucket list to come and spend time on a farm, so can me and my husband come? I'm like, no bother, but it's £95 each, it'll include your lunch, it'll be all inclusive, just bring yourself and we're great, can't wait. That was it, they came. And we didn't have it booked in any of the days because we had to still do our day-to-day, but they just came around for the day, and they're not farmery folk at all, and they were much more interested in playing the lambs, so they still came out to the fields and helped gather in the sheep and watch us do our checks, but they just loved it. She's now since come back with her family, come to her nephew, wanted to see shearing happening. We didn't charge her for that this time, but she's wanting to come back again, and other people. So, and another thing was the ones, we had 2 sessions out of all the sessions we ran, we didn't get to see a live birth, but that was because it was the hour and a half and it was near the tail end. They're now booking on for a full day next year because they want to see one. So that's maybe the thing to look at.
I think next year, go and listen to the folk, they'll be booking for the longer sessions, a lot of them will be.
So what's your financial ambition with farm tours? What do you think it could bring the farm in a year?
Well, you've got a trailer.
I think if you go just on this year. No, I know. I mean, what we did was halfway through the book, within about a week of the booking, so I think this will be able to buy a trailer that I've been looking for going in the back of a quad bike, with the thinking that we've been doing the quad bike rides with the open day anyway, but a boat trailer that's been modified, should we say. It wasn't, health and safety passed it, but it wasn't perfect. So we got this trailer that'll take 12 folk comfortably, they're caged in, it complies with all the regulations for health and safety for farm trailers. So we were able to buy that within the first week of the bookings. It arrived in the last week, and we thought, well, when the lambs are crying, what I thought, we'll take some of the folk who want to go, we'll give them a run around the fields so they'll see lambs and sheep out in the fields. So quite 2 around the fields, and the tour that we used to do with the sailing club ones, not charging them anything for it. The intention will not be an add-on to the lambing day, is the intention in the future. But I said, right, what I want to know is how much, after they've been on it, how much is this worth? What would you pay to go on this ride, which was a 15-20 minute ride, and the price ranged from £5 to £20 was the going rate, and 10 to 12 folk at a time. And one chap came off, it says, I don't know if it is, that's the best one I've had outside the bedroom. That's, I mean, at this point, everyone comes off it, they're smiling.
You're not using that in marketing.
Probably not.
So moving forward, I mean, we were looking at, you're looking at, if it's a big bus tour, you're looking at maybe £500 a bus that comes in. So I think it would be great to do them once a week or something like that would be great. And then at lambing time, but I think we need to be doing other things. It's really hard to say. We obviously are doing a lot of things in the farm. We're juggling a lot of things, so it's trying to where we focus our time. And I think that with farmers is the same problem, that we're still got beasts and animals to feed and still got lives to run, but at the same time this is a big part of the income now, so we need to start spending more time thinking about this. So It's,
The promotion through Facebook and Eventbrite, that is on no charge for those?
there was a commission for Eventbrite.
Right.
Facebook was just the free advertising. I've actually emailed Donald Hoy, who's part of your group, so he's been great with a lot of things that we've done in the past. So I've messaged him actually today after hearing. I thought, why have I not thought about this? So I've emailed Donald at lunchtime just to say, like, a chat to you about how we can look at promoting our stuff on Visit Scotland.
But part of being the monitor farmers sort of going forward, so we've had the sort of 3 months, that was the easy introduction, and so we're now moving on to, should be faced through, but now we're moving on to kind of, like building a 5-year plan with 3-year projections and things like that. So we'll be looking to see, are you going to put like a £10,000 contribution from farm tours in your budget going forward, or 5,000 or whatever. So it's not something for today, but I think you still think about ambition and kind of growth, and it is about juggling things. I realise that, but we will be sort of coming to sort of have that discussion.
I think for us the next stage is going out and contacting people, having a leaflet available, or just things that we're going to say, this is what we're available to do, but we can cater this and put that out, and then we'll get a generalised feedback to actually know what is a realistic budget that we could actually bring in from this, because I see it being very, very beneficial.
This year I would think it's brought in between 6,000 and 7,000. I haven't added all the figures up, I would think 6,000 or 7,000 without pushing it.
That's what they would really try. So if we
I would think a 10,000 target is not unrealistic, which is significant. It's more than a profit off the farming.
Oh, it is. Well, that's great. That's
where we're at. I mean, this year we haven't done, because most of our efforts have gone into getting the pods, and the site, and the build, and all the red tape that goes along with that. So, we knew we were going to be busy this year. Next year, I think we've got a lot more effort.
As you see, I think this October time, after October, we've done the lambing and tagging and things. I think we're looking at contacting having something written out, and then be contacting the tour guide providers. I've already spoken to my sister who used to work for Haggis Tours, so I've asked her to go and have an earwig with them to see if they'd be interested in doing shorter spells or smaller buses and things. So yeah, I'm quite excited. I can see it becoming, it's just about fitting it into your calendar and knowing this is what you've got on, and it's not unrealistic. It's just about us managing our time better on the farm and making it work with the calendar, because it needs to work.
You've got that experience of doing that for it already.
Yeah. So this year was a learning, what's our parameters, what can we do, what can we achieve, what did they like, what did they not like, and then next year be able to build packages for what people want.
A much better idea of the time commitment for putting on tours, what we can handle, what time of the year we can take them, what time of the year we don't want, middle of July, we wouldn't want the middle of shearing season, weather very dependent. I wouldn't want to have to worry about a bus coming in at the time we should have the gathering sheep. So that's the sort of thing we can do. But we'll probably next year put on options to come and see shearing demonstrations and put that into it as that's easy enough to for small groups, or just anyone like the lambing one, just up on Facebook if you want to come. We're doing 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock Wednesday night. We're doing a shearing demonstration. Come along, that's do something like that.
Has anyone got any final points to? Yep.
Have you got any advice about certain insurance for this?
Yes.
Sorry?
Insurance.
Insurance, I spoke to the NFU, told them what we were doing with the lambing and the tours, and they put it onto the policy, they were covered, and it didn't cost me anything. They built it into an existing, I mean, they get a lot of money off us for all the insurance they have with us, and I wouldn't say if they're going full time doing bus tours or that coming on, I would think that they'll look at the risk, and that'll be, I would expect they'll have to put a charge onto that.
I know when you put our stuff through to them, one of the questions then, if you did ask was what we forecast as income from tours, we're still very much, your scale we're not massive at all, but I suspect if you started significantly increasing your income, it was a question that they had asked, what kind of element of your turnover you would take from tours, because their exposure goes up the more people you've got.
I was surprised they gave us the 3 weeks of lambing and the bus tour and didn't charge us at all.
Wait till next year.
Angela will review it and that.
She'll be reviewed in March.
Okay.
We'll remember awful time of 2001 with the FMD. I was just interested to know if DEFRA or other regulators are interested in, the activities in the country. And it's interesting to me, but I'm just wondering if anybody is.
My answer, there's no regulations for it. I mean, we follow the guidelines. We've been doing rec tours for years, so they've got all the guidelines as up to date as you can. What we do when they come off the bus, we've got a carpet, soap and disinfectant. When they step off the bus, they're stepping in disinfectant, although they don't know they're stepping in disinfectant when they come off the bus. And when they're going back on, they're over the same carpet. They'll not realise there's disinfectant on that carpet. And that's what we just do from that. So at least from that point of view.
And with the lambing in the days that they've got aprons and gloves, there's warm hand washing facilities there, and we go through all the reasons why we have like a good 5 to 10 minute health and safety talk before we even walk away from the pens and where we are. So again, that's following the guidelines that were provided.
And anytime you see anyone touching a sheep or a lamb, go and wash your hands before we do anything else. Just good hygiene practice.
Who provided, you said you were providing the guidelines, who provided you with the health and safety?
It was, I've got the document, I can send it to you actually. I've got it on my phone. I can't remember the farm advisory.
Or
I can't get
off the top of my head, I can't remember the initial list.
Yeah,
there's, if you Google it, there's plenty of information.
That's something we could share.
yeah, that would be great actually.
One more.
Well, we given the list is always down at Lochside most of the year. Have you ever thought about getting drone footage of the scenery way up the lane, which you could use as part of your introductory tours? You could have it on websites or whatever.
Yep.
I've got about 3 hours of drone footage that the BBC did. I've just got to get their permission to use it.
But part of the moving on from our branding meeting, which was the last meeting we had 2 months ago, that we're now moving on to get a website built and logos and things, and part of that is I want the drone footage. So maybe that's been part of the photograph package, because that is going to sell again. It's just coming to see it. You do have a drone, you don't know how to use it, so I don't know if we can use his footage or we'll get somebody to do it. But I think this one out of the investment probably.
I don't suppose you sell sheepskin rugs and things like that as an add-on?
No.
I think the Blackie Will's maybe not as.
No, the Blackie Will's not for selling the sheepskin rug.
Of course. You never know, synthetics are cheap.
And back when there's still options to do food and get, not won't kill, but get lamb brought back from that and put it in the freezer, and lamb chops available and lamb burgers available for the glamping site, things like that, for barbecues.
I think that's again,
that's further down the line.
But it's in the back of our mind that
everything else there, that's another way. If we need to put more added value onto the farming enterprise, we've got to keep the farming enterprise going to be able to keep the tourist venture going. For all the farming might not be that profitable, it's integral. It's now almost an integral part of the tourism business as opposed to the other way about.